Ooh, it looks like it is.
It says. Okay. Welcome to the team call for tonight. Today is July 10th, and tonight we're going to be talking about how to run a challenge group as the training portion of the call. But first, I want to start with some recognition. So, for volume bonuses this week, everybody who earned a team volume bonus in their paycheck, I have Pamela, Kristen, Amber, and Ashley. Good job, Ashley. For those who already have Success Club points for this month, I have Amber, Kristen, Pam, Sarah, Cindy, and Joanna. So that's quite a few, and we're still in the first, part of the month, so we have a lot of time still also. And don't forget the rewards for Success Club this month is going to be the book Push by Shalene Johnson, if you don't have that. And for any rank advancements this month, it's going to be a planner pad, which I still haven't made a video about. But I am really excited about sharing with you how I use that in my business and about giving those away. And it's going to be really cool. If you weren't on the call when I announced this before, there's my planner pad, and it's going to have your name, and it's going to say Team Determination. And it's a really neat book for just keeping track of your life. So any rank advancement at all this month, and you get one of those for free from me in the mail. And okay, that's what I have. So wanted to talk tonight about running challenge groups, which I know most of you already do or have done, but just to share with you kind of what I've done, because one of the things that we talked about at Summit. Hold on one second. Okay, I don't know. My daughter wrote something on her hand, and she was trying to tell me a message, but then she walked away before I could read it. I'm not sure. Okay, one of the things we talked about at Summit was failing forward. Like, the greater your failures, the greater your success. I really hope that's true, because it feels like all of the time I fail at this, and I don't have a clue what I'm doing, and I just keep on pushing forward and trying to learn from my mistakes. But definitely one area I have felt like that is running challenge groups, because sometimes I'll have a group that's really great, really active, but nobody wants to become coaches. Or sometimes I'll have a group that's just like a flop from the very beginning and nobody ever posts anything, and I'm like, trying to get people involved and not having any luck at all. But coming out of Summit, partly based on the training that we did there and partly based on some things I learned when I was in Belize, I totally revamped my challenge group. And that's why I did the coaches only challenge group that is for PIO, because I really wanted you guys to get an idea of how I was running mine now, because I'm excited about the new format. But instead of just having the one post a day, which is what I've done in the past, and I don't know how you guys run your groups, but I've started doing the 3 posts. So I have one in the morning that gives them a daily task. I have one in the afternoon that is just for people to talk, and one in the evening just to check in and just kind of grade yourself on how you did for the day. And you can earn points, and I know some of you guys had questions about how the points were working in our coaches challenge group, but based on completing the assignments and tagging me in social media, then they can earn points for that with a maximum of 8 points per day. And I started my PIO coaches challenge group the not coaches one, the same time I started this one. And I have been blown away by how well it's going. And it's easily, in the first week, the most successful group that I have ever had, in terms of people commenting, and not just one time, but on every post, and having a conversation and interacting with each other. I don't know what makes this different, or maybe I just have a really good group of people this time again. And obviously it's only one weekend, so I don't know for sure that it's going to continue, but I'm really optimistic about it because it's going really well. And so that's a format that I just wanted to share with you. I know that Beachbody offers the challenge group guides that are specific to a program, or even one that's not specific to a program. And I have tried to use those before, and I don't love them. I don't feel like it really, you don't get to talk to people. You don't get to know them. It feels like sales when you're posting that, because a lot of it is trying to upsell another product. A lot of it is just like not really taking anything from them. And I know I've been thinking a lot lately about how with coaching, we're not just helping people lose weight. We're helping people, like whenever you have that kind of physical transformation, there also is something that changes inside of you. When you become stronger, you become more fit, you become more confident. And I really want to connect with the people in my group on a more personal level. And I feel like whenever I'm using the Beachbody script, I'm not. I'm just still selling them stuff. And if I'm doing, I've been using this other one that I've kind of come up with myself and adapted from different things. But people are really like pouring their soul out to me, which I love, because the more they're sharing with me, the more committed they are to the challenge, the more likely they are to stay with it. And it's been really great. So the 3 posts a day, I feel like has been ideal, and it may seem a little bit overwhelming. I've talked about using Hootsuite before. Do you guys use Hootsuite? I have tried before to use it, and it was very exhausting to me because I had to upload every single post, and it would take me forever. So earlier this week, I just sat down with it and like fought with it for an hour and figured out how to use a bulk uploader. It's basically like a you upload this whole file that has all of the posts at one time. So you make the post in an Excel document, then upload them all at one time. And I'm going to be sharing those files with you that I have. So instead of just posting one time a day and trying to remember to post in your group every day and not always following through with it, I know that's a problem I have failed with in the past, is not continuing to post. I was able to get these all uploaded in the matter of about 20 minutes or less for the whole group for 60 days. And it posts every day at 7 o'clock in the morning, at noon, and at 8 o'clock at night. I don't know what time zone that's in, because I think that my time zone is still set to Arizona maybe. So I think it's posting earlier in the day than I would have wanted them to, but that's the times that I put in. And it's so awesome because when I wake up in the morning and I get my phone out, it's like I already got all these notifications because I've already posted in all my challenge groups. Even though I was really in bed, it looks like I was already up and working. And that has been great. And now that I figured out how to do it, I can share it with you guys. So like I said, I've already auto-scheduled 60 times 3, 180 posts for my group that I don't have to be stressed out about anymore. And all I have to do is go in there and interact with people and respond to their questions and have a conversation. And the hard part of being consistent and professional is already done for me. So I just I wanted to tell you guys about that and also let you know that I'm going to share those things with you so you don't have to reinvent it yourself. But I wanted you guys to get the chance to participate in that PIO challenge group and see kind of the new format of what I'm using, and then be able to implement it yourself if you like it and if you enjoy it. And the questions are going to be like what they've been so far, like who do you want to inspire? Who inspires you? Why are you doing this challenge? If you could successfully complete it, what would it mean to you? So there's absolutely zero of, hey, try energy and endurance. It's great. It's all like just like dig deep within yourself and remember why you're doing this. It's not for me, it's for you. So that's kind of the feel I wanted. And I think the format really lends itself to having people interact with each other, because that's what's been happening. The other thing I've done in these groups is I've turned off posting on the wall. So nobody can post on the wall except for me. You have to post into one of those threads. And that's why I did the open forum thread where you can post about whatever you want. We can have a conversation each day. But then rather than there being so many posts on the wall where people are like, hey, my disc isn't working. Hey, I forgot about this. Hey, like, and then the things I wanted to say get lost and nobody ever sees them because it's full of all of these housekeeping type of things. Now they're all on one post, and the next day that post is gone. You know, we have our new day post. So I feel like that has been working out really well. Mm-hmm. And in my other group, some of those threads have like 50 plus comments on them. And I'm like seriously blown away. I've never had this much interaction in my challenge groups. So I feel like it's a really successful format. I want to share it with you. And I'm going to type up a file that's like, here's how I ran it, here's the files, here's how to upload them. And that way when we finish, you can run your own. Or before we finish, in August, you can run your own. So.
Yeah, I'm really liking the format. I really like the questions.
Good.
Because I've had the same thing. You know, you interact or you try and post and, you know, it always seems like a flop sometimes.
Mm-hmm. One thing I've been thinking about also, and I probably won't do this like every week, especially since like the PIO group, that's 60 days. Maybe in a 21-day fixed group you could. But I'd like to have a call like this with my challenge group, like my, not the coaches one, but with my other challenge group, and just say, you know, it'll be optional, but hey guys, if you have questions, if you want to get on and chat with me, I'm going to be online at this time, here's the link. And give them the opportunity to sit down with me and chat like this also. And I think I have like 12 people in that group, but even if only 1 or 2 of them get on, then that's a person that I'm having a relationship with, and they can see my face and we're having a conversation, which I think is really important versus just me always typing something up. You know, nobody gets to know me when they're just reading a couple lines that I typed. So.
That's funny. I had thought about that exact same thing today for this format. I'm like, that'd be a cool format to get people together so they could talk about it if they would be willing to share and open up.
Yeah, I think I might just start trying to do it. I'll just say, you know, I'll be online at this time. If you can make it, great. If you can't, that's okay too. But you know, I think some people would like that, and especially I think some people that are participating in this, they're looking for something in their life, like they want that friendship, or they want, you know, maybe they have a bunch of kids at home, they can't go out and get social interaction that way. So that's actually the thing I love about Beachbody, is that I get to talk to people and I get to have these like grown-up relationships that as a stay-at-home mom I don't always get to have. So anyways, so yeah, I'm going to try that. I'll let you know how it goes, but that's definitely something I was already thinking about adding. So, and like I said, I'm going to give all of this information to you guys so that you can implement it yourself and you don't have to like go through and copy and paste each post or whatever. I'll just give it to you ready to go.
So you're going to give the whole, like with all your same questions, that kind of thing?
Wow. Yeah. So, and I mean, you can go in there too and then like edit it and change it around, do whatever you want with it. Correct my typos, because I'm sure there's a ton. And when I was doing it and I was uploading it, I was just like, you know what? On some level, I just don't care. Like, I'm getting this done, and it's better for me to miss a comma than to not post it because I'm worried about the grammar or whatever. So I'm sure there's going to be mistakes and stuff, but that's what makes me a real person, right?
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say that.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of what I want to talk about tonight, because I know if you're like me, you felt like you've had challenge groups that have totally failed. And when people are part of a challenge group that fails, they don't want to become coaches. You know, it really, when they're a part of an awesome challenge group, that's when they're like, oh man, this was great. And they're interacting and they're like, I loved helping people. I loved encouraging that person. I love seeing their results. Then that's when they want to be a coach and join your team. So, you know, how people get awesome results, then they're going to want to do the same thing. So, and that's kind of what my plan was to talk about tonight. So do you guys have anything you want to add about challenge groups or any questions in general?
I had a question about the Hootsuite. You were mentioning the bulk uploader. Is that something like an upgrade, or is that just with Hootsuite? Is that just something like a free option that's already available?
I'm not 100% sure. I have a plan that I pay $10 a month for, and I've been doing that for several months, and I've never used it until Sunday. And I guess I signed up for it with good intentions, and then it just never happened for me. So I'm not sure. I'll have to find that out for you. But in my opinion, it would totally be worth the $10 a month to be able to get it done with and upload it the way that I was able to do it. Because otherwise, before, I literally was having to go and like set the time, paste the post, and upload it to each group separately. Because I was able to actually do it for the coaches group and the other group at the same time. So, I mean, it was so fast. And I'll be able to just continue to reuse this file. I mean, none of the questions are PIO specific, they're general. So I can literally re-upload everything again for my next group. So it's very easy. But. Hey Pam, nice haircut. I like it.
Oh, it's horrible. Right now, there's nothing. There's that better?
That does look more like you.
Can
Okay.
you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We're doing like question and answer. We were talking about running challenge groups. So
I can't hear anything.
we can hear you. Was that your only question about it, Megan, about Hootsuite?
Well, and thank you for doing this. This is so cool because this is something that I have a hard time with because my mixed challenge group, I followed the format that Beachbody had given me and it just fell flat on its face. And I've just been racking my brain about how to revamp it so it's just kind of like a general challenge group. So I'm so excited and thank you for all of your hard work.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm doing a customer PIO group right now too. And I kind of started using that your point system, but can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm sorry. My husband's trying to ask me something. What?
Oh, okay.
No. Okay, the oven's on. So, okay. You're doing a point system. Go ahead.
So I kind of took the example of your point system, but changed it around a little bit. So like they can only get a total of 5 points per day. But I noticed just since I started doing this point system already this week, there's a lot more activity going on than in all the other challenge groups I've done. And I think it's because they're like thinking, oh, I need to, post on this and so it has helped so far.
Yeah, I think that too. And I've tried that, like doing points and then not doing points, and I've tried a lot of different systems with it. But I think for this one, what I said is there's going to be one prize for whoever has the most points at the end, because that's easier for me than dealing with like doing weekly prizes or multiple prizes. That makes it easy, but there's still an incentive. And the other thing is, I'm making them track their own points. So I highly recommend that. I have done it where I have tracked people's points. That is
I'm not tracking their points.
So yeah. And then they're like, how many points have you checked today? And I was just like, after that one, I was like, never again. I'm never doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But
I did that. I tracked my points for like a 5-day eating challenge. I spent probably like an hour going through each little entry and like recalculating, and it was a waste of time.
Yeah, totally. And you know what? I think there just has to be the honor system, because I'm not going to go check and see how many points they got. But ultimately, I mean, this is about losing weight. So if you want to tell me you got the most points, but you never worked out, you never drank your Shakeology, that's just cheating yourself. So, do it, if you want to, I don't care. Just track your own points. But I know we haven't really.
I've found that most people are honest too about it.
I think that's true too. I agree. Most people on the coaches page haven't really been tracking points, and that's okay. I mean, most of us that are coaches are motivated enough that we don't really need that incentive. But people in my customer challenge group have been really like almost obsessive about it. Like they are making sure that they are getting their points. And one of the things they have to do is post about it on social media and tag me. And I think that has been great, because the ones who are doing that are the ones who I think will make good coaches, because they're already willing to post about it on their social media. People are already going to be tracking this journey for 30 days at least. And then they'll be able to like go out and start a business, and people will already be taking them seriously in fitness. So I think that's a really good one. No matter what else you do for your point system or for your challenge groups, having people post on social media is going to be huge, I think, for finding people who want to be coaches. So.
Okay, so I have a question that you're probably not ready for, but so I posted up on the determiNation page about keeping track of customers, and Peyton gave me the suggestion of tracking it on Excel. I was just wondering, what do you use to track when you're contacting customers, when you're following up with them or private messaging them? Like, do you have a certain system?
I have a horrible system. This is my system. It's like random notes on a page. And then every once in a while I'll go through and I'll like exit off and I'll start a new page. But That is something I am struggling with as well. And I have a couple ideas of how I'm going to do it. I won't be using Excel because I need to have paper and pencil. Beachbody did just release a new form. They talked about it at Summit. That is a coach and a customer contact sheet. And so my plan, when my printer has ink again, is to print that off and try using that. And that's actually been on my to-do list for 2 weeks now to I'm going to go back through actually all of my customers and all the people I've talked to and make up a big sheet. But I'm going to try using what Beachbody has, because it has space to write the name, and then it has space where you can put in when you followed up with people.
Is it in the online office?
Yes, it's supposed to be. One thing I have done that has been very useful to me is using this planner pad, and I haven't been doing this lately, but I would write down, everybody that I'm currently talking to for this week, and then I either cross them off or move them to the next week. But I didn't like having to move everybody forward. I like just having my page of who I was working with and just keep going off of that. And another thing I've done, this was probably the most successful thing I had done, and I haven't done this in a long time, which you will see when I pull out this calendar. It's from May. I bought a calendar like this, which is super cheap to buy, and then I got little Post-it notes. And every time I would talk to somebody, I'd write their name on a Post-it note and what I did, like whether or not they were a potential coach or a potential customer, the date I talked to them, if I mailed them a sample, if I had their address. And these were tiny Post-it notes, so I just wrote really small. And so I'd put it on the 6th. So when I got to the 6th, I would know I need to follow up with these 3 people. And then depending on what they said to me, sometimes they would say, wait till payday. So I'd move their little thing to payday, and then I'd contact them again that day. Or some people would say, when I start school, and when the kids start school in September, I think I'll be ready. So I'd pull them off and I'd move them to September. And then I just kept going with that. That worked really well for me as far as potential customers, but it doesn't work great for tracking past customers, which I think I need a better system for. But that's what I was doing last summer, actually, and it was working really well. So maybe I'll try that again.
I don't know if this is what you were meaning, but I did just recently, and it's working amazingly, and I'm getting ready to do my first newsletter based on it. fitness@gmail.com, and in there I made different files that showed you guys are laughing. Is something happening that I'm not aware of?
You were kind of freezing up there for a little bit.
Well, I tried my headphones, but then let me try my headphones again. I tried my headphones, and you guys, I couldn't hear anything. Let me try again. Let me see. Okay, somebody.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me though?
We can hear you. It was just freezing.
Okay, this is weird. Am I freezing still?
A little bit, but we can hear what you're saying. So
Holy cow.
just keep talking.
Okay, so let me finish, and you can laugh. It doesn't matter. Okay, so I made this Gmail thing, and in it I made different folders or files, and they said Beachbody customers. It said Beachbody coaches, and then I had one that said determiNation coaches, because I distinguished between those who are actually doing the business and those who have signed up with me as coaches. And what I did was, it was very simple. And since Steve is running I've got a business under Steve and me. What I did was, I went to my Beachbody site, and when you look up coach search, there's a thing where you can print off all of your information as Excel, and then I can take and I can delete everything I don't need. And for Gmail, all you need is last name, first name, and email address. And so I can get rid of everything else. And then you go and you save it as a CSV file. And then I went to Gmail, and then I just imported it. And literally all of my customers were there. And then all I had to do was click on those. It saves it as an import. So you actually also know which import you did. And then I clicked on all those and put them under Beachbody customers. And then I went to Steve's website and I imported all of his customers. And then I did it to where I only did coaches. And I imported all my coaches and I literally put them all and I distinguished them all. And it's been awesome because now I can do newsletters based on whether they're coaches or customers and do it from that email. And I don't have to get them mixed up and I don't have it going into their junk mail because it's coming from Gmail. So I know that wasn't totally like you're talking about potential customers, but ones who have bought from you that you don't even know, you can get them to all maybe get a challenge pack or become a coach. So I think it's amazing. It has really made my life so much easier because now if I just get 2 customers, I immediately just transfer their stuff into there now. And it's awesome. It's all organized under kubasfitness@gmail.com. I wish I would have done that in the beginning.
Yeah. I think my biggest challenge is following up with customers that I already have. So like there's people that ordering Shakeology, maybe they aren't in a challenge group and I need to be more diligent because it's easier to keep a customer than to find a new customer. But I think that's where I fall down a lot of time and that's what I need a better system for. So I made myself a note, on one of my scratchy pieces of paper to try to like kind of come up with a system and research that a little bit though, so that we can talk about that some more, Megan.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea, Pam. I like that because I've also heard that with Gmail, you can save form letters. And so when you're typing, you just can go insert. And so if you have like a pre-written response for somebody who wants to join your challenge group or somebody who wants to coach or whatever, you can just like go down to this little spot and click insert and it puts that in for you right into your message, which would be super cool. But I have to find out how to use that. And I haven't taken the time to do it.
Yes. Well, and it has Google Docs. So not only did I save those, but I saved all of that same information that Beachbody gave me into documents under Beachbody coaches, customers, everything. I have it all under that Gmail account in my Google Documents. So any form that I use, I just put it in there and it's right there. I don't have to save it on my computer anymore. So no matter where I go, they're all there and it's all Beachbody stuff. I'm not having to weed through my other stuff to find it anymore.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm making more notes. So, all right. Well, does anybody else have any other questions or things they want to talk about? I had a meeting tonight with one of the coaches who lives.
Well, can I mention I didn't hear?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Amy.
That's okay. Go ahead.
I don't know what I missed, but Amy, I finished that Go for No this week, and I just wanted to encourage you guys. I know some of you saw, and if you haven't read it, you're probably like, what the heck? Why in the world would I focus on my nose? But you guys, if you haven't read it, I really encourage you to read it because, I've been doing this a year and a half. Amy, you've been doing it over 2 years, and it changed my perspective 180 degrees to the fact that, like, when I used to ask somebody if they wanted to do this and they said no to me, I would let them know, hey, I'm here in the future when you want it. But now I'm like, I will ask them, well, can I ask you why not? And if they still have a good reason for why not, I'll immediately say, I'm not going to stop there. I'll say, well, do you think you might have someone who is ready? Do you know someone that might? In that book, it teaches you that the customer needs to stop the conversation, not you. And I have for a year and a half been the one to stop the sale, not the customer. I've been doing that. And so, and I literally will go, I've got my 5 points, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I met my goal. And I just want to encourage you guys, read. Guys, it's such an easy book. It took me 2 days to read it, but it took me 3 weeks to get it done because I didn't read in between. But it's such an easy book to read. Amy, thank you for sending it to me. Seriously changed my perspective. Guys, read it. I wish I would have read it the first day I joined Beachbody. I want to encourage you guys to read it because it will change your perspective.
I've had the same mentality where I was like, I feel like I got my 5 points, so I'm done for the month. And I wish that I had read it earlier also because it did change my mentality. Like just because I have 5 people that are, 5 points or whatever, that doesn't mean that there's not more people that I can help, or that that I need to stop. I need to keep on going. And I too stop the sale a lot of times. And somebody tells me they just want Shakeology, and I don't even try to upsell them or to mention anything else to them. So it was a really good read. Something else I wanted to say, I had a meeting tonight with one of my coaches here who lives here locally, and she's pretty new. It's April Dotson. She hasn't posted a lot in the group, I don't think, but she has been doing 21 Day Fix, got really good results. Now she's doing PIO. But she was saying tonight, she thinks she's ready to start running her own challenge group. And, we were talking about that, and she mentioned having a Google Calendar, and it's something that it kind of like with Google Docs, how you can share it with a group of people and everybody can edit it and make changes to it. We all have access to it. But if we have a challenge group that we want to run that we're okay with people adding into, like I always say, you can add people into my challenge groups. Go ahead and put it on that calendar. She came up with this idea, and I was like, great idea, you should do that. And I just gave the job to her. And she's totally fine with that, and I think excited about it. But once she makes it and uploads it, please, if you have a challenge group that you are okay with running as a group, add it to that calendar. And that way, say I have one person who wants to do the 21 Day Fix, and all I have is a PIO challenge group. Well, then I could maybe put my person in her group, that kind of thing, so that we can share. Or Megan, if you're running a 7-day clean eating one and you don't mind people adding into it, let's just put all of our groups on there. I'll put the coach training things that I have going on as far as like Coach Basics or the Push to Emerald, Push to Diamond groups. I'll put those on there. I'm going to put the team calls on there, but then we will have 1-day calendar. Everybody can look at, you'll know when the calls are, you'll know when groups are going. So I don't know why I've never thought of that before, but I thought it was a really good idea, and I think it'll help us work together more as a team. So I just wanted to say that. And one last thing, next week, I picked this time because I knew it was a time I could do consistently, and the only time I'm ever going to not do this consistently is if it's a thing that's related to my kids. Next week, Madison is going to be at church camp, and on Thursday night at 9 o'clock is when her church camp talent show is. So I'm not going to have the call at 9 o'clock. I'm going to try to do it at 7 o'clock because that should be early enough that we can do it and I can still make it to the show. I know that's going to mess it up for some of you, and maybe you won't be able to be on, but I do think I figured out how to record it now. And like I said, in the future, the only time I will ever change it from Thursday at 9 is if I have a kid function, because obviously family comes first, and if you can't make it, I understand. But just note that for next week, and I'll announce it also, but then we'll return to the 9 o'clock time. So I know that makes it dinner time if you're in Arizona or Washington.
Amy, do you have anything you want us to do for that meeting?
Well, no, not necessarily. If you have questions that you want to send me beforehand so that I can make sure to answer them, or if you have a certain topic you want to talk about, if any of you want to share, like I would love to have one person every week who's just sharing their personal story of kind of how they got started with Beachbody and what, how they became coaches. I'd love to do that. So if you're interested in sharing, let me know. But it says we have less than a minute. So I'm going to say goodbye, and we will talk next week. And thank you all for taking the time to be on the call tonight. So, okay. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.